were buried, but these seeds are going up. But these seeds are going up. Nothing but up. Nothing but up. Nothing but up. Nothing but up from here. Nothing but up.
Ambitiously. What's up, family? What's up, loved ones? Melaphonic, Constance. Here we go again. Man, we want to start having something for you guys that come right on time. Y'all know how we do it. In and out. We get what we need for the day. We move forward, continuing to work. My brother Constance is trying to get in. Here we go. This should do you. And yeah, family. This is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Everyone is a good one. Oh man. Okay. Not letting brother Constance in. It's just he's gonna get in. Y'all know we always get it right. But we're gonna start with a grounding today. Prayer to the Most High. Thank you so much, ancestors, for laying down the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears through the years. Sitting here with my peers. In the present time, we give thanks, truly grateful. We would not be here without you, without your sacrifices and your investments. We pray that we come together, unite our minds, hearts, our footsteps. God, and not let Melaphonic in. Oh, man. Pray that you allow all divisive and deceptive and negative ploys and energy that's aimed towards this work and us as individuals and as a collective cease and adhere. No negative forces are our enemies or can even come near us or affect what we're trying to do right now. We pray and ask for protection, for strength, for more connection, for healing, and in these times so that we can unify. Yes, we're talking about cooperative businesses, but we need to become cooperative people. We need to unify, our vision, Most High ancestors. So we pray right now that you bring us under your umbrella, your loving umbrella. You're manifesting. You're so powerful. We know it's all glory goes to you. Let us be a reflection of your greatness and your almightiness in this time. And for the seeds, please, any pain, any isolation that our youth is feeling right now, we ask that you touch that you touch us so that we can be aware of that and we can address that lovingly, healthy, and divinely, to connect with our seeds, man, to make sure that we break these curses, that we don't lead them astray, that we lead them on the right way and make sure that they feel encouraged, loved, and motivated in these times. So we touched on the past, we touched on the present, and definitely so happy about the future. Look at the babies right now, if you got one, or if you are planning on having one, look within yourself. And with all these things in mind, we say Ashe, Ashe Hotep, Uncle Jah, Suneb, Amen, and we get ready for the work of today. Now, Brother Constant is still trying to get on. He's going to get on. Don't worry. They can't stop nothing. It's in the black print. We still here, family. Started in the 1700s, still doing this work. Blessings to everybody. Now, I really would ask for people to comment today. We're going to be touching on connecting with other black organizations. Each individual on this live is a part of an organization, is a part of a family, is a part of a portion of what we're trying to build. So we need to communicate, guys. Can't just be me and Constant. You know, we've had people communicate. So shout out to those who do communicate and show love. But let's get into it right now. So we're going to start on page 115 in Collective Courage Book Club. And Constant, try again, brother, because they cannot stop us. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like this, family. It just came through. Booyah! They can't stop us, bro. They can't. They can't. They tried, but we figure it out every time. So please, brother, I laid the framework. Hold on, beautiful. I laid the framework, brother, and yeah, we ready to get in, man. We ready to get it in.
Okay, so we're in chapter 5, Young Negro Cooperatives League, talking about connections to other black organizations. And we're just gonna jump right in, and I appreciate you for grounding us so beautifully tight. Yeah, bro, let's do this. So it's saying that Dr. Nimhart couldn't find the list of the 12 people that attended the Negro Cooperatives Guild's founding meeting in 1918. So the direct connections to it are hard to say, but there is like an increase in cooperative activity within the black community, like after they got started. And so it doesn't talk about whether or not they were involved in or they were building upon what Du Bois was doing with the Negro Cooperatives Guild, which he had, tried to start around the same time, really, and had lost. He wasn't able to put in as much energy into it as he wanted. He talked about, and we read about how that was one of the things that he really wanted to do at the end of his life. I mean, so during this period where there's lots of black political and economic leaders moving in and out of the black business movement and the cooperative movement, there's evidence to some early direct relationships between the Colored Merchants Association, which was brought up by Booker T. Washington, and the Young Negro Cooperatives League. So some of the grocery stores mentioned that the YNCL wanted to create, that was in their 5-year plan. Like they were working with the Colored Merchants Association in some aspects for that. They were also in connection because George Schuler worked with A. Philip Randolph on the Messenger, which was a newspaper they both worked with. And when Philip Randolph was doing his 10-year presidency of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, which was an independent labor union that black folks had a lot of power, and it's one of the reasons that we got to take our information everywhere, because we had folks who were willing to take the newspapers that we wrote, across the country, so we can get our own news.
And networking, man, he's a powerful organizer. We see A. Philip Randolph having a heavy hand in the civil rights movement as well. I think he's considered one of the big six with Dr. King and other leaders at that time.
That's right. And so though there isn't direct evidence that Randolph was a part of the Young Negro Cooperatives League, he definitely started promoting the same things around the same time, talking about promoting cooperative economics and consumer cooperation, which is when the people who are buying the goods are the co-owners of, a business.
So
Du Bois, George Schuler, Ella Jo Baker, and A. Philip Randolph all lived in Harlem at the same time. So during this time, this was the big band era, the 1920s, 1930s. So they're probably probably like going out to, is this during Prohibition too?
I think, yeah, the 30s, right?
Yeah. Time, isn't it?
My pinky toe. Shout out my pinky toe, quick.
Bruh. So
Hey, that was live, man.
yeah, so just setting the context, like these folks are probably like going out, enjoying the nightlife and like talking about how to build cooperative economics during a time that's like super exciting for our music as well as like consumer co-op. Yep. And so we're seeing that one of the secretary, a person, Noah C.A. Walter, was also involved in the United Consumer Cooperative Association in Philadelphia. And it's showing that he was trying to recommend that the NAACP support the Young Negro Cooperatives League. But just like with Du Bois, who couldn't really get them into cooperation at a time when it like really mattered, they got some support, seeking needed access to their like membership. But we're going to go to the next page, 116. And so the YNCL was able to use the offices of the Negro Urban League to hold meetings. And that relationship that started with the NAACP director 10 years later. Throughout the United States.
Wow, but you know what? The more we read about Ella Jo Baker, it really hits me. Like, why isn't she talked about a lot? I went to her center for an event for Van Jones years ago before I even knew who she was, bro. And I felt like I had a strong grip at that time of Black history, but Ella Jo Baker falls through the cracks. Why do you think? Why do you think that is, bro?
I couldn't say. Like, I'm curious to hear what the folks with us have to say. But like, I read her resume and like just like read the things that she's done and like the what she's helped start, and I can't understand. I couldn't understand it. Like, and so
I swear she carries the spirit of Harriet Tubman, man. Even Ella Jo Baker, man, she's doing great work.
mm-hmm. Oh, sure. And so we're on the top of page 116. We're seeing that the Young Negro Cooperatives League and other Black leaders of the time um, like attended labor and political meetings together, even if they didn't agree on ideology or strategy. And that's like solidarity right there. I might not agree with you, but I'm gonna show up at least to know like how to move according to what you're doing.
Right.
Who started the Negro Cooperatives Guild before the YNCL started, like judged what happened with like Booker T's association awarding the logo in 1930, even though he was at odds with Booker T. Washington at the time. We're also seeing that through all this contact and potential contact among Black leaders and Black organizations in the 20th century, we weren't necessarily documenting it ourselves, and there isn't much documentation that she can find showing exactly how they were working together, but they were all like in the same space, organizing in the, like she says, even if they weren't on the same page, they were moving with each other and at least like in dialogue with each other. And yeah, like we talked about how George Schuler, like after the Young Negro Cooperative League, like went off the rails or like stopped working, that he in one way, like folks just weren't like trying to talk about this after a while because of the thing. We're seeing ambitiously must be recognized. Ashe. Yeah.
Yeah, no question, no question. Yeah, we see remnants of that. Even today, like it's a lot of us. I mean, you, bro, we've been around. We've been doing the work out in different areas, different fields, and you see a lot of us show up to meetings. Like, hey, I didn't know you was with. Hey, I didn't know. But it doesn't. But still, when we come back to the black space, we don't bring those resources. Well, I mean, I don't. Let me speak for myself. I don't as much as I should. I have resources and connections in different fields, but when I come to the black space, I kind of just try to show up and do the work. But connecting the dots and bringing our experiences is a part of the work. We could actually possibly benefit the black space more if we bring those hats with us. So I see that something looking back again that we even do today that we need to improve on. Yeah, we do amazing work. Yes, yes, we all do. Me and bro just doing what we all doing, what we should do, what we need to do. And I know me and him, I know he like me, man. I feel like I need to do more. So much more to do.
Yeah, it feels like there's always something else to be done. Right?
Man, much love to the ancestors for putting that in our hearts, man.
All right, so let's talk about 1932, when the Young Negro Cooperative League had formed councils in New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincinnati, Phoenix, New Orleans, Columbia, Virginia, Washington, D.C. They had a total of 400 members. And just looking back for a moment, the call to young Negroes that we read about earlier in the book was put out in 1930. Okay, so 2 years later, they've got 400 members throughout the nation. They had a second national conference that took place in Washington, D.C. Dues, difficulty of getting members to pay regularly. Okay, that's something we got to think about for our modern day businesses if we're going with the dues model. Like, I don't know. I think that's why like folks nowadays, or I should say that's why businesses nowadays are more willing to do like direct transfers and just like be directly connected to your debit or your bank account, so that they don't have to keep asking folks to send in the money, because that can be tiring. And
The union for sure. They get a salary, so yeah.
And so during this time, 1932, for our folks, African Americans, so they discussed the pros and cons of allowing members to pay their dues in installments. Had another discussion deal to cooperation. I feel like we're still doing that today. Schuler talking about why a cooperative movement among Negroes. Ella Jo Baker gave the speech Consumer Cooperation and the third conference was supposed to be for New York or Cleveland, but of the most recent.
That's real.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way. That's a good start. Co-op that we have, Repair Nations, and definitely was learning ourselves. That's a cooperative model, man. Cooperatives work cooperatively with other cooperatives. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Among cooperatives.
there you go.
Bro, do you remember what the dues were for membership? I was trying to find it in here. I thought
This
it
is
was. Oh, nice. Artist-union.org. Okay.
system.
Okay. Oh yeah. So the members paid $1 initiation fee initially, and then they had dues after that, but it doesn't say how much.
Yeah.
All right. So like, yeah, folks assume that if there are recurring dues, it may have been like 25, 50 cents, something like that.
Yeah.
So like times were rough for sure.
Yeah. You see what Ella Jo Baker, she analyzed once again Queen Mother Ella Jo Baker, and she formulated the penny a day plan.
Mm.
Now, in 1932, a penny a day meant something. If I just use a brief calculator, I think $1 was times 42 back in the day. So one penny was like probably like 40, 50 cents a day.
Mm.
You know, and she did that, and it says they did that from January through March, which touched on key uh holidays for us. You know, celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln's birthday, and the Negro History Week. We used to have a week before, family. It wasn't a month. It wasn't Black History Month. It was a Negro History Week. So we keep moving forward. Now it's Black all year long, baby. Black Hot August, Black Monday, Black Friday. We Black, baby. We took it over. So it just goes to show, you know, a that's here.
Yeah, that's blessed. Okay. Okay, so thank you for bringing us back to the reading. So we're seeing that even though because the organization was having difficulties getting their dues, which was making it hard for them to reach the goals that we talked about last week or yesterday, the 5-year goals, creating the councils, then going back from the councils to buying clubs, going from the buying clubs to what was it, a grocery store, to a credit union, to factories. Like they had the black print right there. Like they were like step by step is all we need. But because things got so rough in that time, the Great Depression, they weren't able to make things move. And so Ella Jo Baker, with her brilliance, was talking about like with penny a day, bro. Every time I read this, I'm like, why don't we do this?
You know what I'm saying? So what would that be, $1 a day? Could you imagine doing $1 a day, family? I mean, hey, I think I can do that right now. I think I have enough space, you
Yeah,
know?
bro. Like if we like, she was going to all of the different organizations too. Organizations like the Federal Council of the Churches of Christ in America, the NAACP, the National Urban League, Black fraternal organizations, which we know from earlier in the book have been instrumental penny to come in, help us get this money. And so she was hoping to raise, yeah. And so like not just fundraising, like having all of these people involved. She's basically like creating a movement by having everyone talking about the same thing at the same time. And so it raised awareness about consumer cooperatives, and it was educating while also saying y'all need to invest in this.
That's it. I say. And $5,000 back in that time, family, I believe would have been somewhere about 180 to $200,000, all from a penny a day.
Oh, sure. I just feel like there's no more time to lose. Like, let's figure out how to talk with each other. Let's say what our dreams are. Let's find the ones who like are resonant with our dreams and want to build similar things. And then let's just let's just do this.
Man,
Let's like yeah. Yeah,
that's
that's
what's
all
up.
I gotta say, I guess. Like, I can say a little bit from taking the word out of our words, talking about the different ways that we can start with first, like, understanding how to do questions. Does that sound good, Tut?
Oh yeah, please segue. Yeah.
Okay, because of the past stuff about like how do we have awareness about like the defensive mechanisms inside of ourselves. And so um, in part two, I'm gonna go through some of the ways that we're gonna be doing this. And in essence, chapter 6 is where I'm gonna be starting, where it's talking about the questions that we can be asked. After that, after the thing about questions, we're gonna be talking about statements and how we can be vulnerable in our statements and not use the statements as ways to tussle over power. And then lastly, I think the last thing is how we can make predictions that are true and valuable, but also not like interested in the world of power, just like letting folks know what will happen or where you are, etc.
Mm.
Um, so, like chapter 6 goes on by first talking about how a lot of us feel like questions are more like interrogations than things that we're curious about. Like we're even told like curiosity killed the cat instead of like saying, as she says, curiosity wins the peace prize and is like the thing that we need the most. And so the character of a non-defensive question is never harsh, accusatory, or interrogating. It is gentle, respectfully offering others an invitation to speak. And so the nature of the questions that we have to be asking when we're using like as she says is essentially when you're reflecting the purity of a child who asks how a flower grows or what makes an airplane fly. And so by curious she means eager to learn, um, eager to learn, know, or understand without any negative connotation. We ask a question solely for the purpose of discovery, without any hidden agenda, without any goal, beyond wanting to clarify our own understanding. And so you think of the character of the purely curious question as inherently innocent and untainted with ulterior motives. Um, the questions have to be open. And so we can easily envision this innocence in a child, that author talks about, but it's hard for many of us to imagine asking a genuinely innocent question during a fight with our partner or in response to someone criticizing an idea we just proposed. Children want to know the answer to their questions. We often do not. In fact, when she asks people to think about asking totally a really sincere question, then I would have to want to hear the answer.
Mm.
And so the story is trying to illustrate that it can be hard to ask genuine questions when we're afraid to make ourselves vulnerable to finding out those answers. And so in addition, the questions in their nature need to be neutral. And she suggests when asking a question in a space that you may be feeling like, you don't want to like make the other person feel like this is a power struggle. She suggests kind of like a flat tone because that, as I said, like we tend to think of questions as interrogations. And so like oftentimes just like the tone of asking a question makes someone think you're trying to pry into their affairs. when you're really just trying to, like, as she said, sincerely gain information so that you guys can like bridge that gap.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And then the last portion of this is the questions need to be inviting, and they should have a genuine invitation for the other person to speak. An inviting question asked in a gentle tone seems to create a feeling of safety in the recipient and a desire to respond. I don't think, and she says, I don't think our question can be a genuine invitation unless we are trying to dictate or manipulate how the person responds.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I said that wrong.
I got it. I was like, wait a minute. Nah.
Yeah. So she says, I don't think our question can be a genuine invitation unless we give up trying to dictate or manipulate how the other person responds.
There you go. Yeah.
And so she goes on to say that sometimes we fear asking non-defensive questions because we think that gives people permission. The book goes on to, like, further in the book talks about how we can like make healthy boundaries to let people know that we really want to hear what they say. But there's also just like some things that we need for ourselves so that we feel comfortable and safe to express as well. And she says that she's found that the other person is more likely to respond honestly and without malice to neutral, genuine questions. And so, yeah, that's like the nature of the non-defensive question. And we'll go over like the function, like how to gather up the information tomorrow.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. And I've seen in my engagements, conversations, I've really been, a lot of the stuff that we've been going over with the taking the war out of our words, I've been applying it. I have mental notes like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm being defensive. Wait, I kind of did just get bothered by what they said. Let me check in with myself and see why. So I really appreciate these readings. Even like for real, I hope everyone is in unison with putting the action. Like Bruh says, this is a bureaucracy. We do this every day because we want to stay fresh in our minds of the things that we should be working on, constantly working on what are we going to come out of this COVID thing, what new business idea we're going to come out of this with. Then also how are we healing the relationships that we have with our family members and taking the war out of our words, really putting it into action. And it works, family. It works. So please, if anybody else has any other updates or things they want to share, please let us know, DM, comment. Y'all know we here every day, Monday through Friday. Same black time, same black channel. We don't miss a beat, family.
Yeah, glad it's been helpful for you, Ambitiously Perfect. Like really glad y'all, RG Footprint, like glad it's been helpful for y'all. It's been like, I've been checking on my like awareness of self as well. And I feel like it's been good because like, I'm just like, wait, instead of counterattacking, let me just try and like breathe, like say this healthily, like, oh, I'm feeling this way, which is why like my tone may have been that. I'm sorry. Let's continue talking.
No, no. That is a great book, great read. Really appreciate you bringing that to life for us, family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And when we're creating our bylaws for the businesses that we're creating, or maybe it's just policy documents, we're going to be wanting to think about how we do our conflict engagement. And in the Sustainable Economies Law Center's policies, it actually suggests that the people who join the conflict engagement team read this book so that they can help out with their coworkers. And so, yeah, that's something that you all can do as well and use it as a resource. It's available on Amazon. Hopefully we'll be able to get a free or semi-free thing for you beyond just taking pictures, but we'll see.
Some workshops around some of these things that we're reading and taking the war out of our words and do some mindfulness practicing. That can be a part of the things that we offer along with the business education and the cooperative economics. We can also offer space where we can, put these things to work with each other.
I think so,
Yeah.
bro. Because conflict engagement resolution is going to be needed in every business, and we want to be able to be experts for ourselves and for our communities, so we can pass that on. So, makes a lot of sense.
Sure, no question.
Yeah.
No question. That's what it is, family.
Hey, Ashe. Yeah, we'll let you know.
Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ambitiously imperfect wants to be a part. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bro, let's jump back into the meetings and the rest of the day that's ahead of us.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate you too, bro. Shout out to everybody that made the Think Outside Your Boss workshop last week. I hope you guys got some real good information. Bro was kicking it live. YouTube, please share. We're in week 7, but we still got a lot more to go. We got about another 100 or some pages to go. So please, nobody has missed anything. You know, if you've been here from the start to finish, or you came in the middle, every day something new. Every day we get something to take back. So please invite your family, friends, people that you follow or follow you on Instagram. And yeah, we love y'all tremendously. So proud that we're all